commitment, a word, just one word. It's the word that conjures up the Übergegebenkeit of a Yiddish parent. It's the word that defines a parent's devotion to his children. It's the word that binds him or her to each child for eternity. It's the word that enables us to rise above nisyonos, challenges.
I have it worked out. My cousin Peter will take him across the border.
No, I don't want to go again. What if we're caught?
What are you worried about? You'll be praying to your God. He's helped you till now.
And to rejoice in every accomplishment. It's the word that connects our grandparents and their grandparents to future doros, future generations. By their examples and through the stories of their lives, which have been passed down to us as part of our Misorah. It is what makes Torah come alive in the home, in the classroom, and in every facet of our lives. Our Chazal teach us that the experiences of our forefathers are lifelong lessons. Join us as Yeshivas Darchei Torah parents reminisce about their own personal memories, which continue to inspire them.
I grew up with hearing stories from my father about my grandparents' steadfast commitment to Shabbos. My grandfather and his brothers opened up a chocolate and candy store in Brooklyn in the 1940s, which was called Buttons. It went on to be very successful with franchises all across America. They steadfastly refused to allow to have the stores open on Shabbos. There were Rabbanim at the time that were giving Heterim to have partner in a non-Jew. However, they refused to use their Heterim. And that made a tremendous impact on me, how they wanted to keep Shabbos at any cost. In addition, they wanted to promote a chavivas mitzvahs among the youth and new generation, love for mitzvahs, excitement, enjoyment about mitzvahs. So in their advertising campaigns, they put in mitzvahs and Yom Tovim from around the year, the dreidel, the Seder plate, Simchas Torah flags, all to promote mitzvahs. These are memories I grew up with, and I hope in my lifetime to impart to the next generation.
Zakeni legadel banim uvnei vanim chachomim unevoinim.
My great-grandmother Rachel, whom I am named after, lived in Boston in the early 20th century. With great mesiras nefesh and deep faith, she traveled annually to Detroit by train to visit and be inspired by her Rebbe, the Brezhnev Rebbe from Poland. This was a novel undertaking for a woman to do in those times, but her strong commitment to Yiddishkeit helped her persevere in undertaking this long and difficult trip each year. This deep-rooted respect for Rabbanim was obviously instilled in her by her parents, and I consider myself fortunate to be her great-granddaughter, to be named after her, and to be living in Detroit, close to our Makom Torah.
One of the memories that stand out in my mind is of my father saying Kriya Shema. Every evening, my father would go into the dining room, and we all knew that for the next 15 minutes we could not disturb him. Peeking into the room, we would see my father sitting at the table, his head leaning on his hands, his eyes tightly shut, and his mind, we knew, was elsewhere. Even as little children, we were able to sense the awe. We could almost touch the Yiras Hashem as he prepared to say Kriya Shema. Till today, I can still hear the tune in my head as he would say each word in a sing-song. It was only years later that I asked him, "Papi, what are you thinking of that it takes you so long to say Shema?" And his answer really defines how he lives his life. Shema Yisrael, the neshama of every Jew should bear hair, should sense that Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem is our energy and life. And this is all in order for us to reveal how Hashem Echad, Hashem is everything. It is this message that as a child I only sensed, I now carry with me and hope to instill in my children, and in Mirz Hashem they will in theirs.
Easily the most profound influence on myself and my family when it comes to chinuch has been that of my grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. Yael Giver. In the Monticello of the 1950s, when Torah chinuch was not a norm, my grandparents spent many hours poring over telephone books and circling the names of Jewish-sounding families. Night after night, my grandfather and Rabbi Nachman Bullman would knock on doors, interrupting dinner tables with the simple question, would you be interested in a Jewish education and a future for your children? Because we happen to be starting a Jewish day school in September. Once that school was up and running and the janitor unceremoniously quit one day, night after night my grandfather would go to the school after coming home from work, write the checks, review the books, and then break out a mop and a broom and start sweeping out the classrooms. Those are the types of lessons that aren't just stories, they're profound influences on us, and it's not just us. When my wife, children, and I moved to Detroit, it was in large part because of the chinuch being offered by Darchei Torah and Rabbi and Mrs. Khan, a daughter of my grandparents, and in that way and so many others, their influence continues to affect us.
May Hashem grant to all Yiddish parents the koyach and wisdom to be the carriers of the torch of Torah and to be the inspiration for generations to come.
For everything you do for us each and every day.
For encouraging us to learn and to be the best we can be, for guiding us to understand the responsibility of being B'nai Torah and mention.
For loving us and giving us that extra hug when we need it.
For homework, driving carpools, and for teaching us by example. You show us the way to live our lives with commitment and a love for Yiddishkeit. We hope and pray that our future homes will be a continuation of the rich legacy which you impart to us.
I've been zeicher to know and work with every single one of your parents, and every single one of you have parents who put in so much work and so much koyach.
Now you should all give a round of applause of thanks for all the help, Baruchnis, the Gashmis, that they do for you day in and day out.